I don't know who needs to know this, so this may or may not be for you, okay? If you listen and it's not for you, just shut it off, right? But if it is for you, I encourage you to keep going, because in the end, I'm going to tell you what I learned from the experience. So I don't even know that I want to tell you, but I am going to tell you, and I'm a little ashamed to admit it.
Hello, and welcome to the Constance Messmer Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in.
I'm ashamed to admit it. I really am. There it is. So for ages, from as far back as I can remember in my life, I have seen things around people and gotten things and talked with God and everything. But there have been times in my life when I have gotten guidance from realms of spirit and shared them with people close to me. And in particular, for the last, 30 years or so, since I've been doing this work professionally, right? Giving readings and teaching classes on psychic development and everything, I have shared, one person comes to mind. So I have shared some of the stuff that's come through and what I'm supposed to be doing, or, my take on certain things and projects that I'm working on. So they've, come in from higher realms and from my own knowing and my own soul trajectory. And maybe you kind of see yourself in that too. There's something that you're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to be, especially now as someone awakening others on the planet, right? And helping people, kind of this change agent energy that surrounds you. If you resonate with that, then keep listening, because this is going to be good for you. I think we all of us are born with purpose, right? I know this is why we have this life that we've come to live. And some of it's purpose that's, maybe personally or professionally or globally or whatever. And it's really important that when we get this knowing that occurs, that we lean into it, that we follow it. This is why I teach, right? This is why I teach the 11 soul senses and how you can use them to navigate your life and your world. And I've always done this, but I have had some, confidants in my life. Because I've said it, I've also thrown tarot cards or thrown angel cards to go, give me the visual picture, like what's the next step, or what's this about, or what's the deeper meaning behind this, instead of, those moments I can kind of consider myself a lazy psychic, because normally if I go in and go, okay, what's my truth here, or let me go to high guidance, or let me go to God and say, what do you want me to do about this, or what's the bigger picture? Sometimes I like the images that are on cards or whatever, right? And because I've shared with you, I am very keen on understanding my astrology and having it as part of my spiritual portfolio of personal understanding. And it's helped guide me to know what I'm doing is, like here with you, is what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So all that aside, I get these messages. I do brainstorming sessions with spirit. I have conferences in the spirit realm, and really soul level guidance on what I'm supposed to be doing and what project is next and stuff like this. And so there have been times when I've shared some of this before I've actually put the action steps in place. And I'm thinking of one person in particular. And over these 30 odd years, right, I've turned to this person just on occasion. And there have been times when I look back that this person's opinion has really waylaid me or set me back. And actually, on a few occasions, kind of did this little undercut thing that I was never aware of, because I looked up to this person, right? Maybe you have someone in your life that you look up to and you think, oh, I want their take or their input on this project or this idea or this relationship, right? Whatever it is, the case may be. And so because this person professed love of me and I believed them and they were an enjoyable person, or I saw them as such, and I thought, okay, this is a really good friend, a good relationship, this is fine. And then there came a turning point, right? There came a turning point. And it's been recently since Pluto entered Aquarius. You know I'm an Aquarian. If you follow this channel, you know I've said that. I'm an Aquarian. And and with Pluto in Aquarius, a lot comes up. It's revolutionary energy. So I'm like, great, good. Woo, let me help revolutionize the way we're using our soul senses and our intuition and really ground the material so that you can use it, right? But if you're recognizing this astrological and astronomical change in your life, that's a lot of shifting with Pluto and all the energy that brings. And I'm not savvy in astrology to give you a lowdown of what that means for you or in any chart. But for me, it's really been eye-opening and a real culling of friendships, and also culling and refinement of what I want to do, right? And where my goals are and how I'm supposed to get there and what I need to do to get there. And it's like this lightning rod of truth coming from the heavens to go, no, these are the steps. This is the trajectory. And you've got to do it in this sequence of events, right? And so if you get those directives, if you understand what I'm saying, where you just know you have to do something, it's the highest path for you, it's the right path for you, you don't question it, you just do it, right? And so that's typically how I am, but it's been more streamlined, because as an Aquarian, I'm a humanitarian and I want to help the whole planet. And people say, well, who's your, what is that word? I don't even know the word. Who's your someone's probably yelling at me. What are you saying? Who's your audience, your specific audience? And I'm like, my specific audience is everyone. I want everyone to learn this stuff. And they're like, no. Who's your real audience? And I'm like, it depends where you look at the analytics, right? But as a humanitarian, I want to help everyone. I want to wake consciousness up. And maybe you feel the same way about you and your work and your life, and you're getting this calling to start waking people up, or open a business, or start a practice, or, take a different perspective in the corporate world, or lean into your intuition more fully in your day-to-day life or your business life or however, right? And so you're also being, pulled up with this swoop of whatever the Pluto energy is, of revolution, of change and innovative ideas and everything that's happening. And you're making way for it, and you're letting go of old belief patterns or friendships or whatever. So this turning point came on as this realization of like, wait a minute, this person that I've felt was a friend for the past 30 some odd years, when I really look at the dynamic of the relationship, it's not really, really, really been to my benefit. There's been times when I've brought experiences to this person and I discounted or discredited what I was getting and believed her because she was such a salesman, right? Saleswoman. And I don't think in any way, shape, or form she was doing it consciously necessarily. She was doing it as as it seemed like it was this wisdom, this spiritual wisdom, when in fact it was working through her own projections or working through her experience and putting it on my work. And actually, she doesn't even see my work still. No clue, right? No real clue to what my trajectory is and anything. And a lot of the conversations I started seeing more clearly, like, oh, she doesn't see me. She's putting me down or putting me in my place, or this little bit of like, even dare I say, um, dare I say, dare I say, a narcissist at times. Like, wow, narcissistic tendencies and behaviors. And this is not a slam to this person or her. This is just a realization to me, right? I think she was just a puppet in my trajectory of my work. And I think, wow, in any of those moments where I brought things to her and she poo-pooed it or, put it down or tried having me go off in a different direction, I think, oh my gosh, I could have been farther along on my journey, but I believed her, right? I believed her take, or maybe there were times that I didn't believe her take, but I let it infect me and then also infuriate me if I think about it. But I love Keanu Reeves' quote, right? I'm not mad, I'm done. I'm not mad, I'm done. I'm done. And so I'm realizing that with this current turning point of my consciousness, becoming more conscious of the dynamic of the relationship, I recognize, where have I let someone like her affect my path, right? You wouldn't think I would do this, right? Because I'm teaching you all I know, but I'm also saying I'm learning in the process sometimes, right? And so I sit here and I think, wow, it is such a soul awakening to be at this place, to recognize this kind of a soul abandonment, this subtle abandonment of myself in those moments of interaction. And I looked then, two things came up over the course of the time that I was kind of unthreading myself from her. One was, I realized that my core wound is being abandoned, but also I was abandoning myself in those moments, listening to her, taking her truth instead of my truth, right? And the other thing that came to me was this incredible dream. I was crossing this river and I had to go into the river to cross it, although there were boats, but I didn't have a boat at my disposal, like this kind of a canoeish type boat. And in the dream, I'm going across this river and I'm realizing there's things under the water, biting at me. And those of you that are like Jungian psychiatrists or psychologists or even therapists, or people that know that water represents emotions, right? And beneath the water is certainly symbolic of beneath the consciousness. And so it was, what is biting at me? What is biting at me? And I started to realize that these words over the years have destroyed me, a part of me. And not only the projects that I was going to put my mind to that were then vacated for years and years and some decades, right? Some I abandoned for decades. But it was also this dismantling of my authentic self to see instead who she saw me to be, this reflection, which was not pure at all. And I don't hold this against her, right? I'm not mad. I'm done. I'm not mad because she was just this puppet in my experience, in my opinion. And so the other part in this dream that was destroyed me in a way, and I just, oh my gosh, got this realization right now. Oh my God, I can't believe this. I had made it out of the water to get to this like rock. And on the rock with me was my dog Champ. Oh, this is so symbolic. I can't even believe I'm coming to this awareness while I tell you. I'm so glad I decided to succumb to spirits. Like, tell them the story. So I'm on this rock, kind of this rocky, islandish small spot to just get away from these things that are biting at me with my dog Champ. And Champ is kind of a mid-size, low to the ground, medium-sized dog, wiry hair, blondish, to give you the full picture. And while he's there kind of catching his breath and I'm there on this rock, this rope comes drifting by in the water, only it's not drifting by. It looks like a rope with stripes, but as it washes onto this rock, it's actually tentacles that are reaching out and wrapping around Champ, right? And starting to choke the life out of Champ. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. And so I'm ripping off these tentacles and they don't glom onto me. They're just on the dog. This is important. And I release it off and like kind of kick it back into the water and it knows I'm onto it. So it doesn't come back. And now the dog is having shortness of breath and not able to breathe, almost like one would think of anxiety or panic attack. Now, I don't get anxiety or panic attacks, but I get why this imagery came in my dream time, because I woke up so startled from the disturbing aspect of this dream that I couldn't help but unravel it. I had to unravel it. Ooh, see what I did there? Like the ropey tentacles. Listen, I love octopuses and squids, so this is not, there was no ill will towards whatever this thing was. It was the awareness that the dog, my dog Champ, first of all, Champ, right? Champion. How am I going to be a champion for myself, to myself, in my own life, for me, right? Champ was being choked, and Champ was a dog. And to me, dog is loyalty. Dog is energy of loyalty. And so the symbolic nature of this, when I unraveled it, much like getting that rope off Champ, was recognizing where in my life I let other people, not just this particular quote unquote friend, but other people put their tentacles around me to kind of choke the life out of me or hold me back or diminish my power or my championship status.
Some Dogs Talk teaches the nuances of animal communication among the pages of fiction, but the stories are based on my life experience. To get your copy, visit my shop or go to constancemessmer.com.
We all come in with power. We are all powerful, right? You just have to find, where do I lock in and where do I shine? I'm telling you, where do you lock in and where do you shine? And so if this resonates with you in particular, if you've come to do something on a massive scale or a big scale, whether that's in your home, your hometown, or on the planet, because we need you on all of those levels, right? It's recognizing, if this resonates with you, where in your life are you being stopped? Where is the kind of the life getting choked out of you, right? And so this turning point that came at me over the course of time and then started infusing my dream time and all of it made me realize that I needed to look subconsciously at each moment where this person, this friend, for all these years, right, has held me back. But then, of course, I flip it and I say, no, Constance, you held yourself back. You allowed it to happen. You didn't stand in your truth. You believed her over you, right? Ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot. And so this is what I've learned. I've learned several things. If this resonates with you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you've been in a position where you've been held back or quieted, or you kind of started second guessing your trajectory, right? Because someone else appears to have your best interest at heart or appears to be giving sound and good advice. I'm sorry that you listened to them and they've held you back in any way, shape, or form, but I want you to start listening to yourself. This is what I've learned. This is what I've learned. If you get messages from spirit, from God, from angels, your wise self, your inner knowing, your true nature, if you get messages profoundly about what you're here to do, do them. Do them. Especially when you recognize the good that they are, right? You're always going to check the content. Is it for the highest good? And the highest good is of all. Are the fruits of this bringing goodness and light? That's what it is. Those are the truths you listen to, right? The good stuff. The good stuff. If you get that guidance from your true, authentic self or from beyond, listen to that guidance and don't weigh in with anyone else. Don't weigh in with anyone else. Don't weigh it in with me. Don't weigh it in with a reader. Don't weigh it in with anyone else. Don't. Just don't. Don't. If you want more guidance, go to source. Go to where that wisdom came from and originated, whether it's the frequency of knowledge or a guide or an angel or your own inner knowing or one of your 11 soul senses. Go there. And don't let anyone talk you out of your greatness. Don't let anyone talk you out of your greatness. So, needless to say, I broke up with the friend even after 30 some odd years. It wasn't healthy. I realized, wow, you know, there's a lot of good about that relationship, but it's not healthy for me in the long run. And the more I came to that truth, the more I recognized even how they live and view life is not how I live and view life. Not at all. Not really. Not really. And it for me was a lot of touting and spiritual pablum, but not boots on the ground, reality, living it in any way that was, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know how to say it without sounding horrible. Different strokes for different folks, right? And I realize again, like, wow, Con, you've got sacred mission. Don't take that sacred mission and tell anybody else. Right now, I just, I tell my COO, I don't really even tell my husband or my kids. I know where I'm headed. I'm on a trajectory. I think people on my team know. And I'm just getting caught up in the wave that will carry me there and take me in that direction. But I'm not telling other people that might diminish, that might not be able to just hold the space for it, right? Because sometimes when we bring who we are to friends or people or our psychic abilities to family members or friends, they can't handle it. They don't know what to do with it. They might put us down or quiet us or kind of diminish our spark. And I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want that to happen to you. Ultimately, it didn't happen to me with this person in my life that I've left. It didn't. It never would. But it did set me back several years on different projects. Jeez, what the heck? It's enough that I plod along and might hold myself back in any way, but mark my words now, I'm like, don't let anything hold me back. So same to you. Don't let anything hold you back. Don't let anything hold you back. Stand in your power, stand in the light, be honest with yourself and be honest with others. It doesn't mean you have to tell them everything that you're up to, especially when you're in a vulnerable space or when it's new or when it's just being planted in your soul and your work, right? Sometimes when it's just being planted, it is like a plant. It's delicate. It needs tender, loving care. And I think only you can provide that, and real, true, trusted friends. But even then, I caution you, I think I've told you before, you just can't share everything. Sometimes you just show, right? Don't always share, just show. Just show and let it be seen in the fruits of your labor and in your dharma and how it plays out. Just be who you are. Be who you are. Don't say what you're doing to be who you are. Just be who you are. And so, ay, ay, ay. I don't know if you needed that. It's permission to be yourself, right? Fully, powerfully, permission to be yourself. You don't need my permission, but I want you to give yourself that permission. Every beautiful idea that comes to you, don't let anyone talk you out of it, right? When you know it's for the highest good, don't let anyone diminish you. I've told you this before. I told you about that guy that said to me, this other guy that does psychic work, that said, oh God, don't write another psychic development book. We have enough of those on the planet. And I didn't. And now I'm still writing it now because I'm like, wait a minute. I've got a really good perspective. Why did I listen to him? Can you believe that? So this is my advice to myself. And I'm going to say it at the same time. When someone says something to you, check it with your heart, especially if it cuts and hurts you and you think, oh my God, they just burst my bubble. Are they right? Or are you right? Or am I right? Right? I didn't do that because especially with the trusted friend of 30 years, I trusted them. I trusted their input, and I should not have trusted their input. I should have stepped back when I felt my bubble being burst, when I felt the excitement diminish because of their words. I should have stepped back and thought, wait a minute, hands on heart. Is this for me? What's right for me? And definitely, I should have said, why is this coming from them? I should have gone psychic on them. I don't usually go psychic on people, but now I think I might have to. Just like, I'm going to go into the ethers and say, why is this coming from them? What did I ever do? Or what's their plan? Or is it just an idea and I just have to say, no, thank you? Or not even thank you, say no. That I've been getting better with. I have a lot of people that have ideas about what I could be doing with my work, or, how I could make an app and charge a lot of money, or make a series of classes that you download and I charge a lot of money. I'm like, not now. Not now. A lot of free content I have for you on YouTube and in my podcast. I would take advantage of it if I were you. So I know I'm going to charge for some things, but books and that, but I just, I don't, this is my promise to the cosmos. You're my business manager, right? I always say that. I say I work for spirit. Like, really need to grok that in my head, like, for my life purpose. Because it's my highest intention anyway, right? When it's aligned with the highest good, it's my highest intention and my highest good. And so I gift you that as well. Align with the truth of your soul and your best possible life, and don't let anyone take you down. Don't let anyone take you down. Now I'm asking spirit. Oh, they're so funny. This is cute. I don't even know if you can see. I burnt myself with a curling iron. I burned myself. Yeah. What a metaphor. I did it to myself. Really. That's what I think. Gosh. Be a selective listener. All right. If you stayed with me to the end, thank you for holding my hand while I shared this story. It was very personal. It's kind of embarrassing because you would think, but I just don't. I don't go psychic on my friends, right? But now I will. Now I will. If it's like I said, if it hits me sideways, I'll be like, whoa, I'm going psychic. Like, why are you saying this? What's this about? Or I'll even go physical and say, why would you say such a thing? That hurts my feelings, or that you don't even know what I'm up to. Do you want to ask? Because now I'm not going to say. But yeah, geez. Anyway, that's that story. Maintain your power. Stay in your truth. Ground your energy. Bring it in. Be honest with yourself. And stay true to your heart. I believe in you. Thanks for tuning in.